let's get into our last main topic of the evening. And the last main topic is going to be the FAWSL Match Week 13 preview. So, for this particular week, I will make one bit of a disclaimer. There was a match played on Wednesday as a makeup. I believe Everton played Birmingham City. I can't recall off the top of my head. I'm going to look that up real quick. Sorry for those of you who are listening on audio, but I'm going to look up real quick to see what that other game was. The FA player. See, that's where I'm going right now to get my WSL football news. Speaking of featured content of the week, there was a makeup game earlier in the week, and who was it? Come on, let's see here. Come on, come on, come on. Almost there, guys. I promise. It was Chelsea and Birmingham, or it was Everton and Birmingham City. I was right, but it was postponed, unfortunately. It must have been some sort of logistical change. But anyways, I digress. So we've got quite a few matches coming up this weekend. To kick off the match week 13 FAWSL league fixtures, we've got Aston Villa against Reading. I've got Aston Villa losing this game by a scoreline of 0 to Reading's 2. Reading, I think, with their draw against Arsenal last week, I think it's proven that they've adjusted really, really well to playing against really tough competition. And because of that, now that they're facing weaker competition in Aston Villa, they're second bottom, I believe, in the league table as of today. I think they'll get the drop on Aston Villa. Oh, excuse me, guys. And they will win very convincingly by a scoreline of 2-0 and also get a clean sheet. Moving on to the next fixture, so we've got, speaking of Arsenal and West Ham United are going to be playing against each other this weekend. I've got Arsenal having another setback this week and drawing to West Ham by a score of 2-2. I was shocked last week that Arsenal drew to Reading. I think Reading was a much weaker team coming off of a huge loss to Chelsea. And Arsenal have really been needing points because Manchester City, they're catching up fast in the table. They're not far behind with games in hand, mind you. And they shit the bed last week against Reading. They drew. They didn't come away with all 3 points. So it doesn't bode well for them because then now it's like, okay, it's probably not far off to think that they'll draw to West Ham because West Ham is a similar caliber team to Reading. So it seems like a lot of things have been going on in the Arsenal club in general. I appreciate you guys who have commented, especially on my Vivian Miedema video and her trade rumor about really the state of the club. It gave me a ton of insight, and I greatly appreciate it. But I think there's things going on at Arsenal that me as an outsider, because I'm not an Arsenal fan, am not seeing, and I think it's starting to show in results. So we'll see, though, if Arsenal turn around. Winning cures everything. If they win the next 10 and make Champions League football, that thought kind of changes. But I have a strange feeling they're going to draw again this week to West Ham. Moving on to my favorite club, Manchester United. They're going to be playing against Birmingham City this week for the third fixture of the week. I have got Manchester United winning this one by a score of 3-1. I think that their match last week, their first loss of the season against Chelsea, was a big wake-up call for the entire squad. I think that when you are top of the table in anything and you're number one and you haven't lost yet, you kind of rest on your laurels to some extent. And plus, they played without, I would argue, the WSL Player of the Year so far, Tobin Heath. So I think with having her back, them having this wake-up call, I think they'll strike back with ferocity, and I think they'll win this one against Birmingham City. It won't be perfect, but I think they'll win. And I think they'll win by a scoreline of 3 to Birmingham City's 1. Moving on to the next game, Brighton and Manchester City. City have been on a great run of form as of late. Brighton have not been very strong this season, and I think that Manchester City always beats up on weaker teams. They just won 7-0 last week against Aston Villa, and I anticipate they will win this week by a score of 4 to Brighton's 0. And then moving on to the second to last fixture of the weekend, we've got Chelsea, who have been playing tough matches, taking on Bristol City this week. Chelsea have been playing out of their minds. Full credit to them lately. They've been beating strong teams. They've been beating weak teams. They just beat United and City in the same week. And I've got them routing Bristol City by a score of 6-0. Bristol City's goal difference is minus 43 this season, and it's going to be minus 49 after this one. I feel so bad for them, but when you play poorly, and teams will take advantage of that. Moving on to the last fixture of the weekend, we've got Tottenham versus Everton. The scoreline's going to be a bit surprising because Everton are a top 5 team in the league, but I've got Tottenham actually winning this one. Tottenham have won their last 3 in a row. They've taken 9 points out of the last 9. They've gone from 11th in the table all the way up to, I believe, oh, let's see here. I should probably take up the table just to be able to confirm with you guys. FAWSL table. Let's see. Where'd you go? Yeah, Tottenham are now in 7th. They're just behind Reading by 2 points with 2 games in hand. Yeah, so Tottenham have been in really fine form. Everton have really not. Everton's lost their last 3 out of 5, and Tottenham haven't lost in any of the last 5. So I think Everton's on upset alert. I think Tottenham is going to come out strong for this game. They'll know that Everton are down, and I think that Tottenham will kick them and win by a score of 2-1. Wow. So that is my FAWSL Match Week preview, guys. What do you think the score lines will be? Do you have any bold predictions for the week? Feel free to jump down in the comments below. And as always, let me know your thoughts. I'll just give you a quick little rundown of the WSL table for those of you who might not be up to date. So in first place, we have Chelsea with 26 points, 2 games in hand. We have Manchester United with 26 points, a game in hand. Arsenal with 23 points, with a game in hand. Manchester City in 4th with 21 points with 2 games in hand. Everton women with 17 points, 2 games in hand. Reading women 14 points and no games in hand. Tottenham Hotspur 12 points, 2 games in hand. Birmingham City 10 points, 3 games in hand. They've got a lot of games to make up. Brighton and Hove Albion 9 points with a game in hand. West Ham United 7 points with 2 games in hand. Aston Villa 6 points with 3 games in hand. And last but not least, Bristol City, 2 points with 1 game in hand. So that's kind of how the table is shaping up right now. Chelsea are at the top of the league. I anticipate that Manchester City will overtake Arsenal pretty soon here, but things are not looking great for Arsenal in that particular aspect. Wow. We have gone through a lot of stuff this episode, guys. This has been a absolute pleasure and a ton of fun. So, guys, I think for the Women's Soccer Football Podcast episode, that will do it for this particular installment. And I just want to take this time to say I greatly appreciate you guys sticking with me, watching these videos, and participating in the fun discussions and commenting below and just letting me know your thoughts about the world of women's soccer and sharing your knowledge. I apologize to a lot of you if I haven't been able to get to your comments lately. I promise I am trying my best to catch up between all the different social media platforms and all that other good stuff, but I will get to you, I promise. If you guys like what you're seeing and you would want to see more content, we are also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I will link all those down in the description below. If you guys would like to listen to this podcast on the go, we are on Spotify and Anchor, soon to be Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts as well. I will also link those links into the description below. And if you guys like this podcast and you want to see more, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so other women's soccer enthusiasts just like you can have an easier time finding this podcast. So guys, my name is Bryce. This has been the Women's Soccer Football Cast. Have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy the friendly tomorrow if you're watching. Enjoy the WSL matches if you're watching. And as always, have a great day.